my dad always said, you have to, whatever company you're at, you have to run the company like you own it, your business, even if you're not an owner, right? You have to act like you own it because that holds you accountable to making those decisions, nobody else. You might have owners that you want to bounce ideas off of or peers, whatever, but it's your accountability and it's your decision to weigh the risk and move forward and say, yep, let's do it. And you only hold yourself accountable and it's not anybody else's fault.
Welcome to Women Who Make It, real conversations with women in the food and beverage industry who are building careers, leading teams, and figuring it all out. After years of building females in food, I've had conversations with some of the most brilliant women in the industry, and they shared the real stuff. The pivots, the boundaries, the burnouts, and the moments of, is this even working, before it finally clicked. So I hit record, and now you get to hear it too. We're Women Who Make It, so let's dig in.
Welcome to Women Who Make It, real women, real talk, and real stories of making it in the food and beverage industry. I'm Angela Dodd, and today I'm sitting down with Jenna Sullivan, VP of Sales at So Good So You, a fast-growing functional beverage company built on sustainability and purpose. Jenna made the leap into a startup world after years of corporate sales, guiding So Good So You through high-stakes decisions, category creation, and growth, all while navigating motherhood and the realities of leadership as a woman in the food and beverage industry. Today, we're going to talk about what it takes to lead when the path is not clear, what it means to balance life and career in a high growth environment, and how she helped build a new category in functional juice shots. So let's get into it. Welcome, Jenna. I'm so excited to have you here today. And as all of our listeners can hear, life is settling in for me, and I am struggling with a little bit of a head cold this morning, but so excited to be here and to be able to have this conversation with you. So for our listeners who might not know you yet, tell us about yourself and, like the title of the show, what have you made and what that means to you, products, teams, sales wins, transformations. Let us hear.
Well, first of all, thank you, Angela, for having me. First podcast ever. So apologies if I'm nervous or if I sound like a fraud coming off of a trade show, but who I am a mother of two beautiful boys. We also have a puppy. I'm a wife and I'm a leader of a juice shot company. I'm the VP of sales. So what we make are probiotic juice shots, whatever you need today to feel your best, immunity, detox. We used to have beauty, which I'm sad we just got rid of that one, metabolism, energy, etc. But what we've made is far more important than that. We are a women-owned, women-led, women-operated team. I manage a full group of amazing ladies, and I'm just thrilled beyond belief to actually be able to do that every day. We celebrate curiosity. We do more, better together. So
incredible. I need one of those immunity juice shots right now.
I was drilling them last week at the show. Yes.
They work so well.
They do.
You know, looking back, because I know you had a big career before So Good So You as well. And looking back, what was the turning point that led you to take that leap into a startup world with So Good So You, especially as a young mother? And, you know, it's a big risk. I think so many people look at the startup world thinking that could be so much fun. Walk us through that decision.
Yeah. Well, my husband jokes that I got the job because I needed the product discount. That is not actually why I took the job, but yes, I mean, Eric and Rita started the company. My husband worked with Rita at Target Corporate, so I knew her. They left the corporate world behind to start this. And I took a tour of the plant one day. I was previously working at a candle manufacturer, and I walked around and I just thought, gosh, I think I could actually add value here. And I did. I had a 6-month-old and a toddler. My boys are 22 months apart. And I walked away from a job that I knew and loved, right? I truly did love my job before, but I thought I can add value here. And most importantly, I knew that they would let me build a team that I wanted to lead. I wanted to work hard, play hard. I wanted to not set out to have a female-led team, but to make sure that I was living proof that you can be a young working mother and still have this great career, because they feel like a lot of times if no one else goes before you and shows you that you can do it, sometimes that's all that people need. And so hopefully that's what I'm able to do here and really just develop skill sets for the team and the next generation of female leaders.
It's such an important example that you bring up, because I remember in those early days of motherhood, when you want to quit, right? When you're like, I need to give up my career. How am I going to balance this all? I can't even take care of myself. And to have that example, there was somebody in my life who was that voice for me and that example for me. And that's what kept me in the workforce. Because when the nights are sleepless, it's it's so easy to think, I'm not going to charge forward and chase a really big career while having motherhood. Okay, so that being said, as you come in and you make that big leap into a decision, startups can also, as a new person coming in, you come in with big ideas. And sometimes there's some really hard choices that come along with trying to grow a startup and having to make some big changes to allow for scale and efficiencies. What were some of those hard choices that you had to make right away?
And literally right away. So I came on board and we were going the typical natural organic route, which means you work with natural and independent grocers. You're trying to get into Whole Foods and break through that way. And we were having a really, really difficult time doing that. We were partnered with distributor partners that weren't partners. I mean, it was like highway robbery. They weren't taking any of our feedback. And I just thought, how in the world are we going to keep these doors open? Not only did I have babies at home, but I knew Eric and Rita also want to have kids, but their entire life savings were in this company. So it was just like, we've got to make a change here. And so I walked around the grocery store and thought, where would I most likely buy these shots, right? And these drinks, because we have cold pressed juice, we had cashew nut milk coffees, and it was produce, right? That's where I'm starting to fill my cart before I hit anywhere else. You're kind of still optimistic as you're shopping. When you're in the produce section, everything's beautiful. You're shopping with your eyes, right? And you feel healthy about yourself. You're still energized, whereas you might be completely worn down by the time you hit the dairy set in the back, or, as you're rounding around to get to the checkout, your kids have worn you down, whatever. And so we made the decision to cut out most of our distributor partners at that point, go direct. We were fortunate to have partners like Target, Publix that let us ship direct, create a phenomenal data story with them. But even now, people are like, why did you make that change? No one else went direct. No one else went to those partners early on. And we did. And it was super successful for us. 8 years ago, when I started, we weren't even on the radar. And now we're the number one produce shot, wellness shot in total US MULO, which just absolutely blows my mind every day when I think about that, from back in those days when it was like, we're going to have to shut down because these distributors are crazy. And now look at us. So, I mean, we do work with distributors. We have some phenomenal partners today, but back in the day, it was just cutting out all the middlemen and going direct as much as possible.
And believing in that choice, right? I mean,
and I was
like you said, bringing something.
They let me take some risks, right? Like I
tell me about those. Tell me more about how you weighed those risks and what you learned about yourself in that process.
Yeah. So I would never be able to start my own company because I'm not a risk taker, right? Like it would make me too nervous to do that. I say that now. Hopefully someday I'll be strong enough to do it myself. But basically, because, it was such a hard look at myself in the mirror to say, okay, if I mess up, what do I know? I've messed up in my careers before, but people always know me well enough to know that I'm going to fix. I'm going to figure out what I did wrong. I'm going to fix my mistakes. I'm going to learn from it. I'm never going to make that mistake a second time. And I think that fortunately I had owners that knew me well enough, and I had instilled enough trust that they were like, yep, let's let her try it. And if I mess it up, they know I'm going to fix it. And I think that's how we were able to grow such great relationships with our retailers early on, was you just first have to get them to trust you. Beyond that, though, my dad always said, you have to, whatever company you're at, you have to run the company like you own it, your business. Even if you're not an owner, right? You have to act like you own it, because that holds you accountable to making those decisions, nobody else. You might have owners that you want to bounce ideas off of, or peers, whatever, but it's your accountability and it's your decision to weigh the risk and move forward and say, yep, let's do it. And you only hold yourself accountable, and it's not anybody else's fault, right? So that really helped me. My team sees this every day, but I get told no a lot. And it really is frustrating. But the good news is I apparently am super scrappy. I learned that at So Good To You. I'm super scrappy and I don't take no very easily. So I joke that doors are shut in my face all the time, but I am totally willing and have many times crawled through the window to get where I need to be.
I
And
love
now I feel like I'm fortunate enough to have a team where I'm given just like the leg up to them. Like, all right, atta girl, you're going
it.
over.
Yeah,
Yep, you're
we're
climbing
we're
through the
we're gonna
window
go
now.
anyways. Yeah,
Yes.
that's hilarious. It's not a no. It's a not
It's just not
yet.
now. Yeah. Just, honey, I'm going to wear you down. You're going to get to a yes soon.
you, you don't know it yet, but you're gonna love me.
Yes,
We're
exactly.
gonna have a great relationship.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I love it. It takes that resilience and tenacity to make a success out of any entrepreneurship journey and any startup journey. I think they're so lucky to have that grit in you and that energy and that motivation to win in this category. So love that. Let's track back for a second and talk about motherhood. Talk about when this path of yours and leadership and motherhood collided and how did you navigate it? We know the days are long, the years are short. How did you in a day-to-day situations navigate it and what shifted for you as you had to learn to really balance these two parts of your life that were very big and are still very big?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like there's not like a moment that I could say collided because I feel like they're colliding every day. Right? I mean, like we're constantly as working mothers, we are juggling everything. And I joke with my team all the time. If you need a problem solved, just put a working mama on it. And it's like,
It's
none,
done.
no problem. Right? Like they're going to
We do
figure it
not
out.
have time to waste.
Yes, exactly. We don't have time to waste. We got to go pick up our kids. No, so I am I'm a tough leader, right? I expect a lot of myself. I expect a lot of my team, but I'm also a very nurturing person. And I think that in my work, I've been accused of or called a mama bear because I'm fiercely loyal of my people. And it's not just like my people that I brought on board, right?
Yeah.
It's like anyone that I feel like is being unjust is being treated unjustly in a situation. So I can get a little intense when it comes to that. But in the season of life, which is motherhood, I feel like I'm taking that same nurturing side of me that I show my boys, that it is sometimes tough love. Like I think of these amazing women that I work with, and I think of all these amazing women having daughters. And I think that's what fuels me to say, I'm raising boys. And they better have an example of a healthy marriage to look at that can see a female next to her husband. My husband's company did get acquired 4 years ago. And I hope that they have the opportunity to see their mama do the same thing in the future, right? And that they can see people partnering and supporting each other in a healthy relationship and that they can then be the next generation, right? We've got so many amazing girls growing up not being told they can't do something, right? And I gotta have some good boys that aren't gaming in the basement for them to like want to marry those amazing brilliant girls. So that's what fuels me, I think, is just if I'm being true to myself and leading a women-led team at work, I better as heck make sure that I'm raising some boys that are worth their time in the future, right? So and fortunately my boys are 8 and 10 now. They get it. Like I talk to them about it all the time. Like mommy works really hard because she loves what she does. And I hope you find a job and a team that you love just as much and that you have a partner someday that they love what they are doing too. And you can just all support each other because that's really what life's about,
Yeah. It's so important for them to hear that messaging young and
to work hard. I mean, I had to work hard as a kid. I had that ingrained in me. I feel like my kids are a little spoiled though, but
as a parent, I would say the same about mine as well. You look back on our childhood and times are different now. Things are different. And I think you do want to give those special moments to your children. I don't know. I try not to get too hard on myself on that either. I'm like,
I know, but when my kids get, upgraded to Delta Comfort, I'm like, this did not happen for me.
Exactly.
You got to work really hard. Your parents got to fly a lot.
This is not normal.
Yes.
Like, do not expect this going forward.
Yes.
Finding those moments to rebalance expectations and
100%.
and keeping them in line as to what life looks like. Those hard lessons, but motherhood is, it's a journey, and I think we can't be too hard on ourselves in those moments either. But we don't do it alone. And I think one of the really important things for our listeners to hear, especially from successful women, a lot of times from the outside in social media, it looks like we're doing it all alone. Mm-hmm. What have you put in place? What support systems do you have around you that enable you to show up and be the best in your work that also allow you to support this family life as well?
Yeah. Well, when my boys were really little, we hired a full-time nanny, right? Like 50 hours a week. And I know that that is expensive. And mind you, when we first hired this nanny, I was at a different company making dramatically less money, right? But it was really important for me to say, can I try to make this work? And if I'm going to make it work, I want to make sure that I can still nurse a full year. That was like a goal I'd set for myself.
Yeah.
So it was like, how do I do that? Well, I'm going to have somebody helping do the laundry for my kids, helping clean up their rooms, taking care of them in a way that if I could be home, I would be doing, right? I was making my own baby food on the weekends and freezing them in little cubes,
Oh
and
my
like,
gosh.
okay, now you got to
God
do
bless
this
you.
too, because if I were home, I would be doing this, right? So you would be, and I have to tell you, Amber and Roseanne might actually watch this podcast because she's such a huge brand advocate of So Good To You. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking care of my babies when I couldn't, because it is those people that come in and act like mothers, but know that they're not the mothers, right? So I think that was crucial for me to have fantastic nannies. I actually recently relocated to Mequon, Wisconsin from the Twin Cities. That was because my husband's career, he was traveling more. I'm obviously traveling. It was not possible for me to move to my hometown for his job. And so we moved to his hometown where his parents can help. Last week, we were both traveling for work. Next week, we're both traveling for work. We have in-laws and aunts and uncles that can help. And the boys love it because they get to be around family where they didn't have
Be
that
around
opportunity
cousins.
before.
Yeah.
But what I want to say, just because we're filming on a Monday, the one practice that I would say keeps me grounded and keeps me going is going to church on Sunday. And I know that sounds super cliche, but for me, it's an opportunity to take a beat and reflect and wipe away all the coulda, woulda, shouldas, because I got a lot of them. I
Yeah.
overanalyzed everything. And to literally get myself down on my knees and just be grateful because I've got so much, right? Express the gratitude, because I think that's what's missing a lot of times when we get really down on ourselves, is the fact that we're not pausing to be like, nope, I'm healthy. I've got a healthy family. Things are actually going really, really well. And to like get that script going to like set the week. My team jokes
So
with me. I
important.
sometimes have really corny, cheesy, like little quotes to start the week. And it's because I'm literally reading them on Sunday night before I go to bed, right? So those are some of the things, like, obviously you have to have a great support system for like taking care of your kids. You have to have a family that supports you. I mean, working remote has been amazing, but I think that mental like reset is what kind of keeps all those other things in line. Because if you don't have the mental reset, like, it doesn't matter if your husband's nice or your partner's nice or whatever else, like it's all going to go down in flames really if your head's not right first.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, to show up for your spouse, for your kids, for your team every day, you have to be in the right mental space. But it's also building that culture, right, for others. Because I think people carry into their week so much baggage and much stress and so much, how you come into that week. And I think having a leader who can help them also reset and refocus and kind of set that intention for the week makes all the difference in productivity.
Yes. And I don't get it right every time. So like for anybody who's like, how do you do that? You don't all the time, but like, just try.
You try, you show up, you put one step in front of the other, you try your best. I love it. So let's pivot a little bit and go back into talking about growing So Good So You. So every startup, and we talked a little bit about these big decisions you made up front, but every startup has those moments where it feels like this could all fall apart. Can you share a time when you thought it was all going to fail right before things really took off? And what did that look like?
Yeah. Again, there were a lot of times. I mean,
is one.
I've been with the company for 8 of the 10 years that the company's been around. But obviously friends with the owner, so have been aware of what's going on the whole time. And as anybody knows in business, like money, cash flow is a big deal. And there were many a time when So Good So You didn't have money. When my husband and I didn't have money, there was a time when we had the opportunity to buy back our dream home. Yes, I bought a home twice, the same home twice. That's a story for another day, hopefully over a cocktail. But we had the opportunity to buy it back. So we had 2 mortgages, meanwhile, 2 babies. We had no money at home because we were trying to cover 2 mortgages until we could sell that home. And at work, we had no money, right? I mean, like, we were broke.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I mean, like, it was very, very hard. And it was like, how is this going to develop. We fortunately, I mean, we raised money. Eric and Rita raised money. So we had our Series C. That happened in November. In December, by some crazy fluke, Target came to us and said, hey, we really need your cafe space, which just used to be right outside of TPN, for an elevator bank. So can we have that? And we're like, well, we really want our cafes, but I guess we'll shut it down, right? Like Target needs it. Target's one of our big customers. Like,
Oh my
we'll give them
God.
the space. We shut down the cafes in December of 2019. COVID hit in March. We got out of all those leases. Can you imagine like having all this space in the Skyway? It would have
Downtown, in downtown Minneapolis. Yeah.
yeah,
In a
and it's
in a
hopefully
ghost
still
town.
coming back now, but it's taken a while. It's taken a while to get back. So
Yeah.
we were so fortunate that series of events, we got the money right when we needed the money. We got out of leases that would have really chained us down and potentially made us go under. I mean, who knows? We fortunately had some money in the bank at that point. And the pandemic hit, which was terrible in a lot of ways. But looking on the positive side of things, we had a really great team that already worked really well together. We were able to send them home that could work from home. Obviously, we manufacture all our products, so we still were able to stay open, but we were able to send those team members home. And because we had a great process in place, we were able to capture all the immunity sales that were going like crazy, right?
Yeah.
We had a team that just buckled down and persevered and figured out how are we going to make the most of this terrible opportunity? Because you can either, get sad and go bury yourself, or you
Really
can just
meet the opportunity where it's at
and we did. And I am
forward.
just
Yeah.
so proud of the team because I feel like that's how we've kind of just taken every single one of these obstacles and just charged right through it. Like you're not going to take us down. And it allowed immunity and food as medicine to really be what strengthens you on a pretty massive platform, which our business has only grown and gone up from there. So
the consumer shifts through COVID have been wild. I mean, they've been so interesting to watch, and just kind of that fear up front of people buying everything off the shelves and having, and honestly, it was a lot of packaged foods to then, as we settled into COVID and people were having to cook from home and kind of rediscovering their health and their wellness and, and having to cook for their families. You saw a massive shift that's still there today. And,
in some ways, some of those shifts, not great, but in a lot of ways, really fantastic. Hopefully people got to sit down and have like a family meal. They got to hopefully enjoy. I love cooking, right? I think it's great. But if you don't love cooking, maybe you got the chance to try something different and new, right? And experience that with your family. So
perhaps the sourdough bakers out there, that is something that
I still want to try that. That's in my future. I have everything I need to do it. I just, just that extra time. I'm prioritizing my time elsewhere right now.
I think that makes sense. It is a commitment. But once you get into it, it just becomes a part of your life as well. So
I buy people's sourdough bread. I'm the best consumer of fresh sourdough bread. So
you let me know when you want some culture, and I'll send some over. Well, there's so much here to be proud of. And I think you shared in that journey kind of some of those moments. Some of those moments have made you really proud. But as you look forward, what excites you about where this category is headed? As you said, we saw tremendous growth in the functional shot category and probiotic category. Like, what's ahead? What's the team most excited about?
Well, I mean, it is crazy. It is mind blowing how much opportunity is left in the shot category. This year, we've really just dipped our toe into club and convenience and food service, and we are just dipping our toes. So it's like, okay, we have 3 new channels to just run like the wind, right? I mean, it's crazy. So that's great. Our natural business till this day is still underdeveloped. We are not in Whole Foods nationally yet. I hope so. If anyone from Whole Foods is listening, call me. I'm here. We'd love to work with you. We're in like locally, but we're not, we're not national. So we just have so much opportunity. Like we're number 1 and we're not in Whole Foods nationally, right? We're not in.
We're going to send this episode to them direct, actually. Whole Foods, we're coming through Whole Foods.
There are a lot of grocery.
So you in Whole Foods.
I mean, there's so many, opportunities left for us still. And so that's what energizes me. I know that's what energizes the team. And it's just an opportunity. Like we don't have that big of a team. And so it gives everybody an opportunity to just learn something new, right? Like to go after club, to go after food service for the first time. It's a lot of people that are like, I've never done this. I don't know what I don't know. But I think that's almost what's been our secret sauce is we don't know what we don't know. So we're just going to try something different and see how it works. And know that if we mess up, we're in a safe space. We can figure it out, right? Celebrate curiosity is one of our values here. And it's because I want people to take risks. I want people to debate. I want people to like throw out different ideas because you never know when that is going to be like the best idea that we need to move forward with. So, but no, all of the shop business is great, but I would be remiss if I didn't say, and I might get in trouble for this, but we have some really cool new innovation that our R&D team, which we call a product design and development team, is working on. So I'm really excited about what's coming down the pipeline with those things, because that takes us out of just shots in the future.
Oh, what a teaser.
I know.
I cannot wait to see where this is going. And a whole nother episode in itself. Because I'm coming live from Vegas today, because I'm here for IBIE from the hotel room. I'm just saying, an opportunity. There's quite the product positioning in the room nowadays at these hotels.
And we have a sleepy shot. We have
yes,
energy.
your shots need to be in these rooms in Vegas. I'm telling
Detox.
you.
I mean, Detox could probably sell like hotcakes in Vegas, right?
I'm gonna be that consumer that just goes and tells the front desk 1,000 times that we need so good. So you positioned in these rooms. So it's coming.
Yes,
I see an opportunity sitting here for you.
We're ready for it.
So great. So much good stuff to come. But I also know there's times in these roles, and being a woman in sales in the F&B industry, right? And senior leadership, you're still one of the few or only in the room. We know this. And also in the produce sector specifically, there's not a lot of women in leadership. And I'm wondering if, not to do a hard shift into some hard lessons or biases or perceptions, but what are some of the biggest surprises as you've come into this space as a woman in leadership? And how have you navigated those moments while still showing up authentically and as yourself?
Mm-hmm. I think we've talked about this before, but and by the way, I'm in the produce space. So actually, I'm wearing my Women in Produce bracelet that I got from Southern Roots. I just came back from a show last week, and Southern Roots had a lovely women's luncheon to talk about work-life balance and really how to prioritize yourself and then the most important things in your life, which is just amazing. Reach out if you want any more information on that. But there are very few women in produce. Oftentimes you are the only female in the room. And if there's another female, it's because I brought a female from my own team, right? Most of our broker partners, they're not female. And so what I have found though, is that regardless of my food and bev's time, very rarely have I ever had a guy hold me back, right? A man's never really held me back. Maybe they haven't given me a leg up, but I never felt like someone held me back. I've only had other women feel like they're holding me back. And so just a message to everybody, like the only reason you would hold another woman back is because you're not confident in your own abilities, right? Mm-hmm. Like we are stronger and better together. Your team is only as good as its weakest link. If you're a leader, surround yourself with those really smart people because everyone will shine brighter. You certainly as a leader, right? If I didn't have, I have fantastic women on my team. Unbelievable. That's what makes me a good leader. Right? Yeah. Like if I don't have great people around me, I'm a terrible leader. And then vice versa. If you're on a team and you've got peers and you've got a rock star working beside you, don't tear that rock star down. Learn from them. They might be your path up in your next job. Yeah. Yes. And so it's escaped me why anybody would do that. But certainly very early on in my career, I had some females that I didn't think had my back. In fact, told me things that were untrue so that I would make a mistake, right? Horrible. Fortunately, I have had other women in my career that showed me the path, right? A few phenomenal leaders at Sears Holdings, which you could say could be a sinking ship, right? But what I learned there were really some invaluable lessons and some really great partnerships there. And those women still have my back and I still absolutely have theirs, right? So I think it's just, if you're not confident in yourself, that's where you got to start, reflect on yourself. And, women, don't take other women down.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's not your competition.
The entire heart of females in food, right?
And that's coming from, like,
how can we help one another?
I'm a fiercely competitive person, right? So but I'm not competitive with my team, right? Think about that. So your team, if you play team sports, right? Like soccer captain, right? You're competitive, but it's because you want to be the best, not because you want to pummel the other team. No, I want to be the best. I want to have the best skills. I want to have the best stats, right? It's about that and doing that as a team, not about like taking somebody else out. Like,
Yeah.
quite frankly, how we've built this great shot category is because we have really great brands with us and we couldn't do it without other great brands. Excellence breeds excellence. And so you want to have those well-funded, good competitors to build a category with. Because if you're the only person, it's really hard, right? You're a lone soldier. So anyhow, I'm babbling, but
No, I think it's such timely and good advice and a good reminder, because I think men or women, and being in a team, our lives move so fast and we can get so siloed in our own heads as to how are we going to be the most successful. And I always say within Females in Food, we can all show up and be ambitious, but it does not need to exist at odds with other people. And especially if you're working as amongst a team to like, we're all more successful when the business is more successful and in working to achieve that. But we don't need to exist at odds because of our ambitions. And
one thing to just mention, because I think about this as one of the things that I've been able to do. It's so good that I probably wouldn't be able to do other places, but I would urge people who are at the very tippy top of their companies to think about, in a sales organization, a lot of times people are super competitive, right? You're hiring people who are super ambitious and super competitive.
Dangle that carrot. Let's go get it.
Exactly. And so we have a one team, one dream bonus. So that means that whoever has the best relationship with that retailer gets that account, right? Whoever has the best ability to go after it, or who has the time to do it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different factors about like what makes you be the best person to be on that business. Sometimes it's relationships. Sometimes it's just time. Sometimes it's you have a skill set from your background that's going to play perfectly into that. And when you have a one team, one dream bonus opportunity, it allows you to have a team that supports their peer to go after and crush it in that business versus being like, oh, why didn't I get that opportunity?
Yeah.
Right. Like that like already like takes away from the team dynamic. And again, like very fortunate that Rita and Eric have allowed me to create that opportunity within that company so that nobody is at odds with each other. Everybody wins together.
And understanding that model. And I mean, it helps them show up and look at their work differently. What a great idea. As you reflect back on your journey, and if you were to start all over again, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't quit. No, you're going to get there. You're going to get there, right? Because I was the only salesperson when I started, right? I mean, besides like the owners who were obviously selling. So I was the first sales hire and I didn't have a team, but like, you're going to get there and you're going to get there the way you wanted to get there, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to get to build an awesome team. You're going to get to you're going to be able to bring an awesome team member in. Alicia, shout out to Alicia, who creates the process that is so critical and invaluable for us sales managers to continue to get out there and travel and sell and do everything that we need to and take care of everything back home for us. So just, you can do it. It's going to happen.
It's going to come in its own time. And I've been watching this journey. I think I was like one of customer number one of So Good So You, not literally, but I mean, when they were showing up and testing their products at yoga studios, I did one of their very first juice cleanses. So for me personally, to see this brand grow over the last 10 years has been so rewarding, and to get to know you and the team, it's been a lot of fun to see that success. So, a lot of our listeners, we got a lot of ambitious women listening in.
Yes. Way to go, girls.
Yeah. And, they might be sitting there thinking, I want to make a big leap, right? They also might be in a bit of a messy middle with life and career right now too. What's one action you would want them to take this week?
Be true to yourself. If you cannot be true to yourself on what you actually want and what you actually want to accomplish, you're never going to get there, right?
Yeah.
Just be true to yourself. Or if you get there and you haven't been true to yourself, you're just not going to have the sense of accomplishment that you would if you knew you did show up authentically. I have the problem of you get what you see here. Like I have no filter. I am very transparent for better or for worse. But living like that has allowed me to, yes, there's still regrets. I'm not going to say there's not regrets, but you live a life that allows you to really be proud of when you accomplish something, right? And be proud of your team when they accomplish something. So just reflect, be true to yourself.
Love it. Love that advice. Gosh, I told you this time was going to fly. I could keep talking to you the entire day. This is the best way I could have started my day. But I wanted to wrap up our conversation with a few quick hitting questions. First thing that comes to mind, just we'll shoot them off here. I think this is a really fun way to get to know somebody in a different way, and also just some more tidbits for our audience. So what's one boundary that changed your week?
My husband and I are both traveling next week, and I'm making him schedule all of the childcare and puppy care.
Yes.
And all activities. They can do it. Just trust them to do it. They can.
I've given over scheduling to my husband too. I'm like, this schedule stresses me out. You
next week is you. All you, bud. Go crush it.
And maybe this you already told us maybe earlier with reflecting on Sundays, but what's a practice that keeps you resilient?
Gratitude.
Oh, I love that. Gratitude. So important. A resource, a favorite book, a tool that really impacted you this year?
Oh God, just this year. I don't know if it's just this year, but hugs, prayer, but hugs. My mom always said, an apple a day, everyone's told you growing up, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yes, apples are great for you. But my mom always said growing up, 8 hugs a day keeps the doctor away. And I just really love her way of like looking at mental health in that way. And so hugs are actually what get me probably through my day to day. I try to get as many hugs as possible.
And little people hugs are the best.
Little people hugs. Yes. They feel old.
The kids that are growing up so quick, but my little ones give the strongest hugs. Yes, we all need more hugs. I totally agree with that.
And if I'm the weirdo that comes up to you and you don't know me, just let me hug you. I'm sorry. It's going to happen.
Oh, I so naturally, it's the weirdest moment in most of my business interactions when you form relationships with like people that you've known over the years, right? And you've done business with, and like you think of them like as friends, but you're in a business situation, and like my natural inclination is to like go give them a hug versus shake their hands. And every time I think I'm making it so awkward, but
I'm just like, I'm a hugger. Are you cool with this? I'm going in.
If I'm happy to see you, I want to give you a hug.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What's your favorite So Good So You juice flavor?
Immunity turmeric. It is amazing. Turmeric, anti-inflammatory, natural pain reliever. It's great. And this fall, immunity season, it's getting an extra little added benefit. So look out for that too.
Ooh, I'm very excited for that. And after this call, I'm going to go find myself some. This raspy voice will be taken care of. What's next for So Good So You?
Again, there's so much opportunity. For me in the short term, it's putting my head down and just working. We have so much opportunity. It feels like it's coming out of the woodwork right now. So just putting our heads down and working. Hopefully in the future, hopefully something great happens and we're all able to celebrate these accomplishments that we've made it So Good So You. I think that's our end goal in a few years or so, if we're to be so lucky. And then what I've always said is my long-term plan is I always want to be in the produce, food and bev world. I love it here. I will never go back to this home, the home space, which is where I worked my entire career before this. I'm here to stay. And I hope I keep learning every day and I get to share that learning.
I love it. And we're taking this episode to Whole Foods. I think that's what's next for So Good So You.
Yes, national.
Well, Jenna, I just have to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is truly the real stuff, the decisions, the trade-off, the surprises, the moments you're so proud of that really shape a career. And it's really been a privilege to have you on and to share your story. I can't thank you enough. But as we close, please tell listeners, how can they connect with you? How can they find you?
Yes. Well, LinkedIn, obviously. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram and like No Filter with My Life. There's no filter there. So you can feel free to message me on any of those locations. Also at jenna@sogoodsou.com. That's my work email.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you're new here, join our global community of women in the food and beverage industry. You can learn more at femalesandfood.community. And don't miss any future episodes. Follow us on Females in Food community on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and be sure to hit subscribe on all your favorite podcast channels and on YouTube. We're not just making food, we're making moves. We're women who make it. We'll see you next time.